Welcome back to the Law Precision, the second installment in the WristClocks series. If you haven't heard the first book yet, because you will, it's linked in the description below. Now, for those returning, let's continue. We are reading chapter 5 and chapter 6 tonight. And maybe even, if we able to, chapter 7 and chapter 8. We'll see how long some of these get. Okay, let's get into it. Chapter 5. Echoes in the Frame. There is the original, there is the reflection, and there is the one who learns how to hold the blade. The package arrived early. No return label. Just a long, slender box wrapped in brown paper. A wax seal in place of tape. A single circle. Blood red wax. Blank-faced, pressed tight against the fold, like it was watching. The words on the front were simple in their simplicity. Detectives of Ashbrook. Marcus Leclerc cut it open slowly, careful not to disturb anything traceable. Inside, no device, no powder, just a single object. A photograph. A man seated upright at a small cafe table. Dead, but posed, hair neatly combed, hands folded, like he was waiting for a waiter who would never come. On his wrist, etched cleanly into the skin, was the same signature, 311. Brant held the photo closely, taken through the glass, distance, maybe surveillance. The angle was too clean for coincidence, too still for an accident. On the back, written in blocky handwriting, he deserved to finish his sentence. Marcus exhaled, jaw tightening. Sentence as in life. Brant didn't blink, or a final word. Marcus's voice dropped. Or prison, or penance, whatever it is, someone decided they had the right to cut him off. They stood in silence. The ticking of the precinct clock, wall clock, filling the air, each click landing like part of a message. Michael's eyes opened before the sun. He didn't set alarms. The body, when properly aligned, obeyed the rhythm, woke at the minute, acted on the hour. His apartment was clean. In a way, a blade was clean. Nothing soft, nothing warm. One cot, one desk, one chair, no noise. Above the desk, penned like scripture, hung the core. Chaos corrodes, precision redeems. Order carves away the waste. He brewed coffee with unbroken focus, measured in grams, boiled to temperature. Two nights ago, the mark he had held, elegant, quiet, unresisted. She had tried to speak before the end, but the moment had passed. She wasn't aligned. She belonged to a different hour. So he ended her early. It wasn't murder. It was correction. He didn't act for fame. He didn't act alone. He listened for the tick, and when it came, he obeyed. A video, low resolution and voiceover heavy, crawled its way to 900,000 views. The narrator whispered on as screenshots of clock carvings slid by. We've been looking at this like it was a crime, but it's not. It's curriculum. Each death is a lesson, not just a warning. Instruction. In the comments, Timely Student 49, what if the clocks are telling us who goes next? Rhythmic Witness, I keep dreaming the same number, 6 o'clock, 11, 3, 8:15. What, are we supposed to be learning something? Danner lives. Y'all think this is random? But there's an order, a system. This is theology dressed as math. It wasn't just a pattern anymore. It was becoming scripture. Miss Trenton stopped mid-roll call. Madeline, quietly seated, cross-legged, over a stack of drawing paper. No cats today, just clocks. Pages and pages. A blue pen, gel pen. Pressed so hard the corners tore. Every one of them is different. Not a single minute hand. Some were labeled, others left blank. 3:11, 8:15, 6 o'clock. Any more? Miss Trenton crouched beside her. Sweetheart, what are these? Madeline didn't look up. I'm just copying. Copying who? She blinked slowly. The ones who know the time. And without meaning to, Miss Trenton glanced toward the wall clock. Brant held the photo against the window, morning light bleeding through like an X-ray. No blood, no mess, just display. Marcus turned the image in his hand as a statement. Brant nodded at the inscription. You think it connects to the others? The signature matches, Marcus said, but the phrasing is more than a message, it's a philosophy. We've been treating this like a series of crimes. It's not, Brant asked. Sorry. Marcus tapped the photo once. It's a syllabus. Brant's brow furrowed. It's not just about death, Marcus continued. It's about timing, sequence. Every move is part of a lesson plan. Brant looked down at the photo again, the man's eyes fixed on something just outside the frame. We're not hunting a killer. We're following a doctrine. Give me a sec. What the throat. Alright. In a shipping container, converted into a room, a man sat at a table with a laptop and a battered 3-ring binder. He found the first whisper of a lost philosophy, board disguised as a poetry, then more fragments shared under usernames like Rhythm Witness. Pendulum ascends, ticked true. Oh gosh, something in there. The law hadn't asked for faith, it had given proof. Clean incisions, measured order, calm faces. He opened his binder. I will learn the hour. I will not rush. I will not delay. Beneath it, the master carved the first clock. We only keep the time. He wasn't ready to act, but he was listening. And when the chime struck, he would know his minute. The homepage was still blank, but more assertive. They call it madness, but it's always been math. You have all been late before. That's why this is necessary. In the bottom right corner, time was different. 38, 11, 22. Blinking, blinking, blinking. Now, in faint, hard to see type, class is in session. 3 victims, 3 times, 3 stages. The pattern wasn't clear, but the ground was shifting beneath them. Brant stood behind Marcus's arm, his own arms crossed. He really believed there were more. Marcus nodded slowly. They're not just watching, they're waiting for their turn. The clock ticked. Oh my. Chapter 6. False metal. Some clocks chime without permission. The master hears the difference. The body from the photograph was found in a shuttered train station, seated upright on a rusted bench beneath a sign whose arrival times had changed since 1997. Hair combed, cuff rolled up neatly, wrist bared. 3:11. Detective Brant crouched beside the man's feet. Gray stripes of a broken window light sliced the floor, catching the scuffed leather shoes. Dirt, Brant said, tapping the heel. 2 kinds. Brant stepped closer. Marcus leaned in. One was ash-colored dust, the other red sand, like you'd find near an old brick plant or construction pit. Nowhere near the station. He was moved. Staged, Bram confirmed. Not just for elegance, for distance. He stood slowly, wiping his fingers on a handkerchief. Someone wants us to see the precision, but also the reach. Marcus didn't answer. Then softly, I woke up again last night. Now 3:11. Just snapped awake. Brant looked at him. 2nd time this week, Marcus added. Same time, no sound, no reason. Brant shook his head. Coincidence. No, Marcus said. That's the problem. He stared at the body again. This isn't a coincidence. It's contagion. Michael read the headline 3 times. Child found dead near abandoned silo. Clock carving found on the body. His hand clenched until the chipped mug, till it creaked and cracked. Sloppy work. The photograph had leaked through one of the fringe forms. Jagged lines, carving tilted, second-hand wild, etched in panic. A child. 8 years old. The law was not chaos. The law is not vengeance. A child is still learning to keep time. The mug shattered against the tile. Coffee spread across the tile like oil on parchment. The rhythm broke, so be it. He would find the one who dared twist the law and silence them. The follower buttoned his shirt to the throat. On the desk, his pocket knife lay clean and waiting, edges honed that morning in meditative silence. He had chosen his first correction. A woman who falsified disability claims, a time thief, a parasite on honest laborer's mechanism. 6 weeks of tracking her routine, measured her redundancies, charting her waste, marked where her rhythm failed. He flipped open his notebook. Isolated path, no cameras, time of carving, 2:06 a.m. Remove watch, clean after, leave no message, the mark is the message. He whispered it like a prayer. I will strike only on the hour. I will chime when I am called. Somewhere, he believed, the master listened, and he would earn the next lesson. The boy didn't tell anyone about the notebook. Not his mom, not the school librarian with the too wide smile. It had been his uncle's, locked in a footlocker in the attic, discovered one dull Saturday. Inside, brittle clippings, yellow diagrams, crime photos cropped to show wrists, and scrawled dozens of times into the inner cover, the law of precision. He didn't do it, not fully, and he didn't understand, but something clicked. The world was loud, sloppy. People were late, messy, and noisy. So he watched. Timed footsteps between lockers, listened for skips, noted those who chewed too fast, blinked too much. Today, he started watching the school counselor, Mrs. Danvers. She talked in circles, blinked too often, laughed when no one was joking. Her rhythm is wrong, noisy, like a clock chiming at the wrong hour. He didn't write her name down, not yet, but the thought stayed. Beneath his desk, he tapped the journal. The master listened in silence. He mouthed it once, then smiled. Back at the station, Brant flipped the photo again. The message burned into the back. He deserved to finish his sentence. He pulled up the latest feed from an underground forum. Hundreds of anonymous replies, usernames like Chrono Pilgrim, Pendulum Obeys, Timely Student 49. Marcus rubbed his eyes, voice flat. We're not chasing one killer anymore. Brant stared at the body, posed like a mannequin of control. We're chasing an ideology. A man who called himself the follower sat in a plastic chair inside a rusty shipping container. He opened his binder. I will learn the hour. I will not strike too soon. I will not delay. The master carved the first clock. I will learn from his hand. He didn't know who the master was, but he knew he was listening. When the hour struck, he'd be ready. The website was updated at 2:06 a.m. No logo, no navigation, just one line. Noise demands correction. In the corner, the countdown continued. 33, 44, 51. Then slowly faded in. Unit 2. Distance is discipline. Marcus couldn't sleep. Eyes wide in bed, listening to nothing, until his phone lit up. 3:11 a.m. Again. The hour was keeping him now.